Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Morale Booster with John Ughulu. And today I have with me a very powerful entrepreneur. He is Larry Normile. Larry, thank you for joining me on the program.
Good to be here, man. It's an honor to be here.
My pleasure. Okay, so before I ask Larry all the interesting questions, I want to remind those of you listening and watching this video to please remember to share this video, because you never can tell. You might just be saving a life. You might just be sharing it to that person who has been waiting the entire life for this great message. So thank you all for tuning in. So Larry, my viewers will be eager to know who exactly you are and what you do.
All right, my name's Larry Normile. I've owned and operated tattoo studios for over the last 20 years. My most successful one I've owned now for 11 years. Pretty much everybody that's worked for me except for one artist, I've hand taught how to tattoo and have made millions in the last years working with just those folks. Whoa. And no one else. I mentor them. I still mentor them to this day. And right now I'm in the middle of building them to the highest platform of their life that they've ever been, with doing TVs, books, personal development groups. We have a lot going on just in our studio, but we're a tattoo shop.
Right.
The name's called Artistic Edition Tattoos. Been open 11 years now, and pretty much trending all over the world, just traveling. With the whole pandemic right now, we haven't been able to travel. We had 11 travels, or 11 conventions to do, 3 out of the country, or 8 inside the States, and we lost all of them this year. So kind of sat back, redid some stuff, and just started getting into the marketing and then videos, podcasting and stuff.
Right. That's a great one you've just said. A lot of people, bow to challenges. When they see challenges, they just feel that's the end. So what would you say to my listeners out there who are striving, who are wanting to become entrepreneurs, or who are entrepreneurs who have been faced with one or two challenges?
Well, the good part about this is I've been in business for so long now. Like, I used to have struggles, right? Now my mindset is strictly success. I don't have anything else in my head but success.
Right.
So, but what I can tell them is now is the time, because right now is negotiations, right? When I opened up the shop, my shop I'm in now, I opened it up when we were in the recession, right? 2008, the stock markets crashed. I lost all my 401k. Everybody was losing stuff. People were killing themselves over that. And I opened up a tattoo shop in the middle of all of it with $500 in a I don't know how, but I did it. I ended up going on Craigslist and selling everything I had just to make it happen, right? I was flipping stuff, buying stuff. I did what I had to do to open, right? The reason why it's the best time in the world to start for me, and why I say it, is because everybody's in the same boat. So even people, like I own houses, right? So, and I own a building, but when I owned the building, I had a negotiation, because it's like, what do? You got to do something with this building now, because you got to pay the mortgage, or you can get somebody in there that might have to just skim you by to help. So they're in the same boats as we are. So negotiations is the best time as an entrepreneur now. And since everybody's in the same boat, you got an option.
Right. That's true. Because I truly support that. Albert Einstein said, in the middle of difficulty lies an opportunity.
Yes.
So 100%. When things are happening like the pandemic, people are either getting rich, taking advantage of it, or just being there. Like what Les Brown would say, in life there are billionaires, there are millionaires, and there are witnesses.
Yep.
So the question is, which group do you want to be part of?
See, I'm already a millionaire, right? I'm already in that state. So like my next step is billionaire, right? Like that's why my podcast and everything's called Billionaire Mindset, right? It's on the road to becoming a billionaire. In the last 6 months, I've been documenting, videoing it. Usually I got cameras all around me with my editing people, but we have a house party right now. So I'm in my son's room, as you can tell. But usually I'd have cameras everywhere, because I'm documenting my whole life to becoming a billionaire, to prove to people in this world that anybody can do whatever they want as long as they have a passion and a dream. Anything's possible. And because you're in the program, we're in a program together, and You can ask John and Dolly and all of them. I already believe it 100%. Like everything I'm already watching and listening, I've
Right.
done it. And I'll give you a few examples. So when I first opened up in 2009, right, I knew I wanted to open my shop, but I had $500, dude. That was it. No lie, hand to God.
That's so interesting. I love this
So
story.
I took and begged these people to let me get this building after an investor backed out on me on day of lease. You'll hear about it in the summit. But anyway, long story short, I ended up getting on Craigslist. I had a laptop laying around. I sold it on Craigslist, got the money from that, and bought this beat up Civic and just cleaned it, detailed it real good, and flipped it. And next thing you know, I'm just flipping stuff to build my shop.
Right.
So you just gotta be hungry, you know, like Les Brown says, you gotta be hungry.
You gotta be
Because
hungry.
but if you write it down and you just keep going through it, like what John and them are doing with us right now is exactly what I've done time and time again. And it's just being repetitious. Like you build yourself up and then you get the team around you to do it, right?
Right.
And that's where I think that's why we're great together, is because you see our message. It's like-minded people with the same amount. And that's what they're going to need. These entrepreneurs out here are going to need. They're going to need somebody around them to help them.
Right. That's true. So is it you only do tattoos or?
No, I do. I've been mentored for 18 years, almost as long as I've been tattooing. Because when I was in jail, so what happened with me is, I'll give you a little backstory to give you all.
Yeah,
My
because your
dad died
story,
at 6.
a lot of people would resonate with your story. So
Yeah,
your story.
my dad died. So I was raised by a black man, right? He was my father, my dad. That's the only man I ever call a dad.
Right.
He is my father. He was the man that raised me and taught me how to become a man. So he is my father. Well, he passed when I was 16. And when he passed, I kind of went through this like dark stage in my life. I ended up dropped out of high school, was homeless at 17, went to jail at 18, spent my 21st birthday in jail.
Yeah.
When I was in jail, I was in there with 2 lifers for murder. And they're the ones, because they were my cellies, and they're the ones, one was a businessman, was just a crackhead on the street. But they basically told me I needed to take what I had, because I'm good with talking to people and helping people and motivating people, because
Right.
I can see the best in anybody. Sometimes you just can't see it yourself when you're in the picture frame, you know, type of deal. So he was like, you need to do something with it. So when I got out, I started mentoring with kids. I do the motivational at the detention centers and everything else like that. And I have parents that bring me their kids to work with them.
Okay.
So that's like my passion. That's what I love to do.
Right.
But for the last 20 years, it wasn't making me money, because I was just basically doing it all. I've been doing it all for free. I have a nonprofit organization that I own, that I've been doing it for free for the last 20 years. And now my next step is to get out of my tattooing and get into that part of life, because I feel like that happiness that I get out of that, you can't ask for anything else. You know what I mean? It's just like,
I know what that feeling.
it takes your heart, and you're like, when you see that change, it's a good feeling. And I want to do that for the rest of my life.
Right. That's a solid one. Passion is paramount.
Yes.
If you're listening to this program right now, this is Larry Normile on the program. He's reiterating to us that passion is key, doing what you love to do and being consistent. Mm-hmm. He has been in tattooing business for the longest, over a decade. And a lot of people are always out there looking for the shortest possible ways to get things done. There is no such thing as overnight success.
No.
You have to grind. You have to stay hungry. Life is going to hit you with so many things. That's why Les Brown says, when life knocks you down, try to fall on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up.
Yep.
Yeah. So
it's the truth, man. That right there resonates for a lot of reasons. And until a businessman gets into I know you're going to ask me, but I got to get into it, because what you just said resonated with me. Because when I went from being an employee to an entrepreneur, right? That was like, you don't know what you're getting into, right? Because you don't even understand taxes. You don't understand payrolls, financial advisors, bookkeepers, supply. You don't know anything.
Nothing.
You gotta just jump into it and hope to God you figure it out. My first year open, I did $197,000 that year, and I thought, wow. I was like, yeah, I did it, right? But every dollar I was getting, I was putting back out.
Yeah,
but I was spending it,
right?
Yeah, but I was putting it back into the tattoo shop, but I was doing it with cash too, like a lot of cash instead of checks and credit cards, right? So I had no receipts at the end of the year for all this stuff, right? So you're talking almost, I think it was $78,000 unaccounted for. I owed 11 grand at the end of the year. Like when I was done, and I didn't have it because I was like, all that money I dumped back in because all the money I was getting, I was putting right back to build my shop the biggest it could be,
Right.
you know. And I'm looking at my accountant like, what do I do? Because I didn't even have one. I had my mom doing my books, and she's like, "You gonna have to take this somewhere. I can't do this." So there's a lot of trials and tribulations. That doesn't
Right.
include employees and your customer service and clients coming in, and just entrepreneurship is not. It's a battle, right? But once you can figure it out and you go through a lot of trials and tribulations,
Yeah.
it's worth it all at the end because there's nothing in my business that I haven't went through that I know I'm fine. Like I've got lawyers, I've got paralegals, I have judges as friends, I have everybody as a friend that I know if I need somebody to have my back, I have somebody to have my back now.
Right. Right. Right.
So yeah, it
Okay.
takes a
So
lot of
that's
trying relations.
that sounds good. That's a key point for people who are getting into business to understand. I remember you were at one of the calls when
Yeah,
Mike was, someone was saying he doesn't know who would be able to replace him in
yeah,
the business. So I know there's so many people out there who give businesses or their employment all their 100%.
hmm,
And they get so carried away that they forget to train other people
yeah.
to be able to step into their shoes by the time they leave. So what are you going to say to those business owners who feel they can do everything by themselves?
And let me tell you how this is a strong passion for me because just on my side, myself, right, I make 300,000 a year, and on October 1st, I'm not tattooing anymore. I'm physically facing and focusing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to lose all of that money, right?
Okay.
Because I trust and believe in who is working for me now to
Absolutely.
handle my business.
Right.
Because it's a huge, like, that's a very fast paced, big organization. I don't have a little tattoo shop. I have a lot, there's a lot going on there. I have clothing and all, right? So what I would say is first you got to find a team, build them, train them. And when you're around that person, if that person is there for you or if not, your heart knows, right? And you just have to eventually, there's going to have to be a point where you just say, okay, it's time to go. Like
Right.
I'm at a point now, I don't have time for nothing. If I could pay for time, I would pay for time right now because my whole day from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed is scheduled.
Right.
So I don't have much more time. So if I could say one thing is I would say, get ready. Get ready for a roller coaster. Get
Right.
ready for a roller coaster.
Right. Right. You have to be ready. I hope you guys can hear Larry say that. You have to be ready. And
You have
Larry,
to.
now I know your story is very unique, and there are a lot of people out there who your story would resonate with. I know people who have been to jail, and when they get out, they feel that's just the end of the world. They feel they cannot blend into the society anymore. They feel, they cannot chase their dreams anymore. Please, I want you to speak to those souls right now because I know there's so many people listening to this program.
You know who they're fighting? They're fighting themselves because nobody can tell you that but yourself. Because no matter what anybody says to me, right? I don't care what anybody says to me in this world. They can call me, tell me, say whatever they want about me. I know what I am. I know what I've been, and I know where I'm going to be.
Right.
I have no doubt in my mind where I'll be. I know I will be a billionaire, and you'll be able to show. You can look back at this podcast and be like, "Dang, he did it," because
Right.
I know I'm going to do it. I don't have a doubt in my mind.
Right.
So that's where I would tell people they have to get to that point where their wants and their hows have to be stronger than their doubt. Because my thing is with me is mine is because I didn't know my real dad, right? And then the only thing I knew about my real dad was he was an alcoholic and he wasn't really a father. Like I have a sister I never met in my life. Her name's Linda. She disowned my dad. She was 21. She was 21 years older than my mom. So when she was like 18 by the time I was born, so really she didn't even know I was born because she was so far from him.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm building my last name up to bring its own legacy and building my own history book for me, for the Normile family and my side. You know what I mean? Because that's all I know. I don't know another Normile at all. I don't know any of them except
Right.
for my sons and my kids and my wife. I don't know any other Normile.
Oh, okay. So that's encouraging. So like you said, they are fighting themselves.
Yes, 100%.
So you don't have any reason to doubt yourself. Like Les Brown would say, do not let other people's opinions of you become your reality. And that is one of the strongest conviction you can ever come across. Someone telling you you are not good enough.
You
Or,
know, another good quote, I want to give you another one for you. George Morris Jr. You ever heard his?
no.
You never heard it? All right. Hold on. I just got sidetracked on that. My phone blinked and messed me up.
Okay.
Which one was it? Hold on. I got a million of them. I want to give you this one right. I don't want to mess it up on you.
Okay.
Hold on. So this one, he says something. Hold on. I got to tell it to you now because it's going to drive me crazy until I say it.
It's
Because it's one of my favorite ones that I use because it's one I've always been far. I don't even know it off the top of my head. I'm sorry. I'm messing you up on that one.
No, it's all right. It's all right. What's the name?
George Morris Jr.
Oh, okay. George Morris Jr.
Yeah. So when you think I'd have it all ready for you, but I don't.
Okay. No, it's all right. While we're talking and you remember it, then
Yeah. We'll go with that.
So you must not allow the system play those tricks in your brain for as long as you are willing to really become a different person. It's when you are not ready to become that new you that you would believe what the system says. Everybody has a new beginning. There is a Chinese proverb that says, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The next best time is now. And taking action towards realigning with your true focus in life, with your destiny, depends on you. So do not let anybody tell you you cannot do it. You are unstoppable. We've got greatness in us.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's awesome, Larry. So Larry, what would you say?
I want to tell you what it was. I remember now.
Okay, good.
It was a winner that, you know what a winner is? A loser that tried one more time.
Oh, yes.
Right? I would, with everything I kept losing on, because I failed twice, but 2 businesses. Well, actually 3 or 4. So I'm telling you, that's a strong quote, man. When people are thinking about something, just remember that if you quit, you pretty much just gave up your chance. Somebody else is going to step in your shoe and take over where you left off.
Absolutely.
Don't do it.
No quitting.
No.
Winners don't quit and quitters don't win. There are too many hungry people out there. I'm one of those hungry people. If you step aside, your luck, your destiny will fall straight to the next hungry man.
Somebody's waiting for you to fall so they can take over.
Absolutely. That's good. So what would you say to, right now we're experiencing a paradigm shift because of the pandemic. A lot of people have lost loved ones. And so what's your advice to those people who have lost loved ones?
If I was to say something about that and that's a strong thing for me and I'll tell you why. In 6 years ago, I was moving my shop to a bigger location and remodeling it. And in the middle of all that, my aunt, uncle, nephew, and his son, 6-year-old son, died in a house fire.
Oh.
So tragedy is a big thing in life, right? But the problem is if we focus our energy on that too much, I'd rather think of the positives than the negatives, man. I want to think of all of the happy times we had together, right? Because I would rather, I don't mourn. I don't mourn. I don't know why. I really haven't mourned my whole life. I don't have that in me anymore. I think after being with my dad passing, I kind of lost that in me. So now I try to stay away from everything except for the positive. So when I think of that, I think of like, what was it that we did that made something positive in your life? And that's what I would tell them, is try to take all the bad times and erase those bad times and think of all the good times that makes you smile.
Absolutely.
I'd rather be happy than sad any day of the week. I don't have it in me to be negative anymore. I go through my moment of mourning when somebody passes and I go to the funeral, but after the funeral, I'll sit back and have a laugh about what we did, something together silly, or
right.
I just try to stay in my positive side, man, because the negative will drag you down to nothing.
Absolutely. You're right about that. Because for some reasons, what you just said, resonates with me because I really don't know how to mourn.
Mm-hmm.
I lost my dad when I was in high school.
Yeah.
For some reasons, I didn't find myself or see myself crying throughout. I didn't do all that.
Yeah.
So right now, I don't know if that's what's affecting me. I find it difficult to mourn, to cry over death of people. But I don't know what to tell them, because I feel if I want to tell that person, oh, I'm sorry, that would make the hurt, come out more. But what I
Yeah.
always tell people, and one thing I'm sure about, is that anybody who has passed is in a better place. That
Yes.
person is free from suffering, free from any form of pains, free from any forms of trouble. So that person will smile from wherever he or she is when they know you are not hurting, when they know you are taking care of yourself, you know, instead of wanting to hurt yourself in the process of crying and doing
And
all.
one day we'll be back with them. We'll all
That's
be
it.
back together eventually.
That's it. That's it.
Eventually, our time will come back.
That's it.
That's how I look at it.
Anybody who is no longer on earth is in a better place. So it's up to you and I to stay strong for them, take care of those they've left behind, and keep moving ahead.
It's like
That's
you're proving it to them, like every day. Because I don't have much family left, through all of the deaths in my family that has happened. That I look at myself now, like every one of them. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna prove to them what I can do. And
right.
I just feel like, man, if anybody's going through some tough times, just stay to the positive and just build something around it. Build
Right.
something so strong that it can never be forgotten.
Exactly. You've said it.
Never can be
That's
forgotten. That's it. That's what I'm doing now. Trust me,
that's
you'll
it.
hear about it soon. I'm in the middle of a transition that's going to put me to another level. I'll
Right.
be on TV soon, so
Oh
you'll see
yeah.
my face all over the place.
Right.
It'll be new.
Okay, that's good. So do you want to tell us about your reality TV program?
Well, honestly, we can't really talk about it too much yet because we're still in the mix of it, and
Okay.
I don't want to get John and yelled at by who I'm
Okay.
speaking with right now. But there's certain things you can't talk about. But I can say I'll be on TV. It'll be most likely tattoo related.
Okay.
We don't even know that part yet. It's so crazy how TV is,
Yeah.
because I don't want it to be scripted. I want it to be real, and I want it to be positive.
Right.
Obviously, it's going to have its little drama that's filled with everything else, right? But I want positive because realistically, even this is where I have a hard time telling my story, right? Is because I can't stay dark long at all. Like all I think is positive, man. All I think is success. When I look at something, I'm like, all right, how can we make this better? And it might not even be my stuff. I'm just always I'm in a growth, man, and I haven't even been on a vacation where I haven't thought about like what I can do. I was on vacation in Dominican Republic a few months back,
Okay.
right before the pandemic hit, and I'm over there doing business on
Right.
vacation
Right.
with a artist over there that does paintings, and now he ships paintings over to me, and
Oh,
now I'm gonna be buying a damn Airbnb over there just so I can go over there and handle business when I need to, and then rent it when I'm not there.
right.
It's just that's all I think is business, man. I don't think anything else. I
I,
don't.
I know. I know that feeling. I'm like that. The brain is constantly working, thinking of how to improve.
You have to, man. You have to.
Yeah. So I know I have so many viewers who are artists, and I'd like to ask: do you do any kind of coaching program for people
Yes.
who get into the art industry?
Yep. That's what I've actually been doing for the last 16 years. And every one of that, every artist that I have handpicked to work with one on one is successful except for one. And the one is just because he ended up, and I still would have helped him, but he started beating on women, and I don't condone that.
Oh,
So, but if it wasn't for that, I would have still worked with him because I don't give up on anybody, right?
right,
So, out of every one of them, three of them own their own businesses now, and some of them work for me, and some of them work at other shops. I don't hold anybody to work with me. I just want to make sure that when they leave me, they have a full understanding in business and in art. Because my gift is I don't take a picture of what you showed me to tattoo you. What I do is I take and I ask you some questions about yourself, figure out your life, like how you said your dad passed away, right?
right,
I would use that. and then I would use something in the light, and I go all the way to the darkest time of your life and to the brightest time of your life, and I create art through that. I create your tattoo with that. I don't do it with any art. I just do it myself. And then when I give it to you, I tell you the story that I got interpreted into the art. That's the fun part.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So how can people reach out to you? Because I know definitely
Larry_Normile on Instagram, or just Google my name. Like you can't Google my name without seeing it on me. I'm just got put into the Who's marquees. So they're doing this big publishing on me right now. The one part that I didn't want out there, they're putting out my net worth. I wasn't really trying to have, because I live in a little state that's quiet. Nobody knows my net worth, and I try to keep it that way, but they're nosy. So now my net worth is going to be out there.
I like that. You know, I love the energy you bring to our accountability group. You know,
I have fun with it, man.
Yeah, it's so great to have great minds like you. You know, it's so great to have.
It's you too, man. Don't underestimate yourself, man. Don't underestimate yourself. Your smile is infectious too. It's like Dolly, man. I tell y'all, it's something about the energy you can catch from a smile. Like that can take a day away. Like you can have a bad day and just see somebody smile. You can walk by me and smile with the way you smile, because you can tell it's pure, right?
Right.
When you got a pure smile like that, it can change a person's day, just like that.
Right.
So don't forget,
therapy. You know, so I try to stay as happy as possible, because that's the only way we can be happy, be truly happy with ourselves.
And you're gonna have moments, man. You know it, and I know it, right? Like I went through last night. I haven't been to bed all night because for some reason I'm laying in the bed and I couldn't fall asleep. And my wife fell asleep with my daughter in her room. She come into bed at 4:30. I'm like, babe, I'm still awake. I ended up going to the gym, and then I come home and I started writing, like for the TV series. And then I'm writing that. I'm writing less. I'm doing like all this stuff, man. And because my mind never shuts off, right? So, and you know how it is. Sometimes that'll trigger you to start thinking in the wrong way.
Right.
Just you gotta train your mind, man. Your mindset has to be trained to be able to shut that off. And you know what I like doing? I like either listening to somebody positive, or I go to some sound waves, man, and just I get into my own thoughts, like positive. Try that, because you know how it is now.
Yeah, of course.
You're digging into the deepest part of your mind right now, trying to do this.
Yeah.
Trying to do. You're in it, right? You're in the summit, right?
Yes. No. I'm not. Yeah, I will watch. You guys.
Oh, you'll be in the next one.
No, I'm not part of
it. Don't ever doubt it though, because you'll be in it. I know you will.
Well, I hope so.
I believe in it. Nah, don't hope so. No, so.
No, I will be there. I know I will be one.
You'll be there. When John came to me the first day, ask John, ask Dolly. I was like, I'm gonna be the first. I'm at the top 3.
Oh, okay.
Because that's just how I feel. I don't ever doubt myself, right? And if I didn't make it into that summit, I knew what I've been in the next one. Because you have to have no doubt, man. Don't doubt it. Don't maybe, or you know, because I know you can. I know you can.
I'm positive about is that I've got greatness within me.
Oh, yeah.
Another thing I'm positive about is that I'll become a millionaire by next year.
And I want to hear your story, so I'm going to bring you on my podcast. I need to bring you on my podcast because I need to hear your story. Because I don't know your story yet. I don't know the whole thing.
Yeah.
I know, did you do the 15-minute video already?
Yeah, I already did that.
Did you post it live or just on to them?
Yeah, I sent it to both the the other.
Did you put it on the Facebook page though?
Right. It's on the Facebook page as well.
All right, I'm gonna go back. I gotta watch it.
Awesome.
I gotta hear your story, man, because I want to be able to relate all the way, and that's how I relate. It's through a story.
No problem. I'm so glad I'm on the same network with great minds like yourself, and I know the sky is gonna be our starting point.
Yes.
Just the beginning of greater things to come.
And where are you from?
Originally from Nigeria.
Nigeria. Okay.
I live in Georgia.
Georgia? Oh, you're right down there by Les.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been a wonderful time chatting with you, Larry. I know definitely people will reach out to you for some coaching and mentoring program in terms of your art.
Yes.
Please keep doing what you're doing, because the main thing about leadership is focusing on developing other leaders.
Yes.
That has been your drive. That has been your passion. That has been your dream. You've been chasing that dream. And the universe will definitely reward you with all your heart desires, what you've been looking for. And I know you and I would share the stage in the near future.
Oh, yes. 2021, when all this stuff's over with, we'll be on stage.
Absolutely.
I look forward to it. I'll be the one bringing you out. I'm not going to have you bring me out. I'm going to bring you out. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, that's a great one. You know, teamwork makes the dream work.
Yes, 100%, man.
Awesome.
It was good talking to you. I was honored to be on.
My pleasure.
I look forward to seeing the podcast when it drops.
All right. So to everybody listening, that's Larry Normile. One more time, if you want any good type of mentoring program, he is the best person to reach out to. If you're interested in tattooing, reach out to him. He's on Instagram and Facebook, right?
Yes.
Awesome.
More Instagram than Facebook, but you can do Facebook too.
Okay, no problem. And one other thing, one last thing. Remember to share this video, because you might just be sending it to that one person who has been waiting the entire life for this message. The universe loves speed, according to John Ughulu.
Yes.
All right. Have a great rest of your day, Larry.
You too, man. You have a great day.